Hey there, Steve Nixon here with Freejazzlessons.com. Thanks for joining me here for today's lesson. All right, in honor of my new program I'm releasing, the Jazz Platinum Players Program, I wanted to take a second and share some really useful comping voicings with you, all right? I get a lot of emails from people every month asking for me to teach them some comping voicings. They're playing in a band. They're not really sure how to play behind a soloist, right? Voicings, rhythms, they're just, there's sort of a mystery there, right? So we're going to tackle a few of these voicings here today. Now, we're going to be spending a whole month just on comping, among many other topics, inside the Jazz Platinum Players Program. I wanted to get you started, though, give you a little taste of some voicings, things you can apply right away into your playing, all right? So without further ado, we will talk more about the Jazz Platinum Players Program very soon, but let's head over to the piano and get started learning. Thanks. All right, welcome to the piano. Let's get into some of these comp voicings here. So I have a whole system of comping I want to be able to show you at one point, but for the sake of this tutorial and your time today, I just want to show you a few cool ones. These are very musical, real rich sounding. You should be able to throw them into your music pretty quickly here. All right, so we're going to be in the key of D minor, right? Okay, so D minor, we're going to be looking at a 2-5-1 chord progression in D minor, right? So what that means is we're gonna have some sort of E minor 7 flat 5 chord, right? That's gonna be the 2 chord. We're gonna have some sort of A7 chord, and then we'll have some sort of D minor chord, or 1. So 2-5-1, right? All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play you these voicings. I'm gonna flush them out between both hands here, and then I'll break down the voicing and break down all the moves going on there. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's get into these voicings here. I feel like I could jam on those chords all day. They really are fun sounding. Okay, so here's what I'm doing here. For the 2 chord, this E minor 7 flat 5. Remember this basic vanilla, just E minor 7 flat 5 chord I was playing in the beginning just to kind of show you the chords we were going to be using? Well, I'm going to still use this voicing, but I'm just going to invert it here. Okay, so we're going to have this flat 3rd on the bottom, the flat 5 on the bottom, the flat 7th on the bottom, and then the root on top. Okay, now what am I doing in the right hand? This is the part that actually makes this, voicing sound cool as far as 2 hands go. Okay, so I'm finding a melody note I like. In this case, I like the 11th on top of this chord. A lot of great standards start with the 11 on there. Stella by Starlight, this is pretty much the first note on the downbeat. It'll go, into Stella by Starlight. It's really just so pretty sounding. So what I'm doing, since I like this melody note, is I'm playing the same note an octave higher. Okay, so I'm doubling that melody note, and then what I'm doing to add that little crunch in the middle here is I'm adding a harmony note in the middle from the scale or from the chord. All right, so in this case, I'm adding the flat 7th in. So we have the 11th, doubling it an octave higher, and then we're adding that inner harmony note. In this case, that flat 7 of that chord, right? Okay, so that's that chord right there for your minor 7 flat 5 chord. Okay, now what I would recommend you do is not only learn this voicing by itself, but try it in a few different keys as well. Something really cool happens when you start practicing this stuff in different keys. It might take you a while to do it, but trust me, even if it takes you like an hour to get in another key, that is really good practice for your musicianship and learning the keyboard. It's kind of fun too, especially when the more you get into transposition. Okay, so, but anyways, this is that voicing. Now, this is our 2 chord. When we get into the 5 chord, check out what happens here. Okay, we're going to be moving into this A7 altered chord. All right, so go ahead and visualize this A reference root here. Okay, here's what's going on in the left hand. Okay, now I've got the flat 7 of this A7. Okay, so the 7. Okay, we've got the C, which is the sharp 9 of the chord. It's a color note. We've got this C sharp in the middle, which is just the 3rd of the chord. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, right? So just the 3rd. Okay, and then I've got the F in there, which is the flat 13. So these are my 2 color notes. And there's so many cool things about this chord, but one of the things I want to point out is we got this little half-step crunch in the middle that's smoothed out from those other beautiful harmony tones. If I just played this by itself, it wouldn't sound super awesome, but when we put everything else in there, it sounds really nice, okay? Now, in the right hand, what I'm playing here is, again, I love this sharp 9 melody note, okay? So I'm gonna double it up top, octave higher, right? And then I'm gonna add that inner harmony note from the chord in the middle, chord or scale, right? In this case, it's in the chord. Okay, and that's that flat 13, all right? So that's what I did here. I went 1, a 2, and 3, 4. Okay, and there's that chord, all right? So this is an A7, flat 13, sharp 9 chord. It sounds more complicated than it is. It's pretty easy, okay? It's pretty easy. You just gotta kind of think about it the way I did and rewind the video if you get confused at any point, right? So that's what's going on here. Now, to add a little bit more forward motion here, what I'm doing here is I'm taking the same voicing left hand for this A7 and I'm moving the melody though, okay? I'm moving the melody down. To this time now we're moving to this. I've got the B flat on top, which is the flat 9 of this chord. Okay, it's the flat 9. Flat 9 is just a half step higher than your root. Okay, so again, just doubling that melody note up top and then adding that harmony note in the middle. And we still got that flat 13, so I still am using that same thing I had before. Okay, now can you hear how this note wants to pull to this note, right? Can you feel that pull? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm respecting the voice leading and where the voicing wants to resolve to, and I resolve essentially into this chord right here. This is our 1 chord here, okay? So what we have here, okay, visualize that D root if you need to, but F is your flat 3rd, A is your 5th, B is the 6th of this chord, E is the 9, okay? Here's my A melody note, it's the 5th of this chord, okay? Doubling it up top again, and then I'm adding that harmony note in the middle. I could add the 9 in the middle if I wanted to, like we have here. I could add the root in the middle if I wanted to, right? So, we have options as far as that goes. I could even add the major 7th in. That sounds pretty cool too, right? So a lot of different options there. Now, you saw me, I pretty much played the same thing a few times, but you saw me sometimes jump around a little bit melodic wise, and really all I'm doing is I'm just finding melody notes I like, Okay, I'm finding melody notes I like on top of each chord. Sometimes I like the 9, sometimes I like the root, sometimes I like the 5th, et cetera, et cetera. I'm doubling that melody note up top, and then I'm adding that harmony note in the middle, okay? So this is the basic principle behind these two-handed comping voicings here, all right? So this is just a small demonstration in one key, but there's a lot more of these to explore at future times. But get started with these, try practicing the voicings by themselves, throw them into some tunes, especially some tunes that have a minor key. Thumb through a fade book, see if you can practice them, and just enjoy exploring these really cool sounding voicings as well. See if you can come up with some, new melodic ideas and new concepts, and really listen to that pull. Where does, especially on that A7 chord, where does it want to pull to? Does it want to pull to this? Well, kind of. I mean, it's not bad sounding, but really, this note wants to pull to, you can hear it, right? Or this note wants to pull to this. Right? So you want to be listening for that pull as well and letting your ears guide you as you go forward with this. All right, so this should get you started. Have fun practicing these, and I look forward to being able to share a lot more of this comping techniques and comping voicings with you in the very near future. Happy practicing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at Freejazzlessons.com.